Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, May 20th, 2015, and this is episode 20 of the Serenova podcast. I'm the host, Jessica. I'm just putting a couple of things down here. There we go. And I go by Serenova on Ravelry and Twitter, and Serenova_Phoenix on Instagram. You can find the show notes on my blog at mydatinglife.wordpress.com. Anything else to keep the intro? I don't think so, though I do have an apology for last week's episode. Something went wrong in the saving and processing of the video of last week's podcast, and I didn't realize there had been a kerfuffle until it was uploaded on YouTube, and then someone commented on the Ravelry group, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting what your username is at the moment. But thank you for telling me that it was a mess. It turns out my audio and video were out of sync. I don't know why. I didn't do anything different last week than I did any other weeks. I think my computer just decided to hate me last Wednesday. And yeah, so sorry about that if you watched that episode. That is not the normal video quality. So welcome back to returning viewers. Welcome to new viewers. I'm just going to kind of jump right into it today. The show I'm supposed to be getting for Kate at Not a Podcast May, June, Shaw Millong has seen zero progress since last week. Though I have worked on my own shawl design, a tested for someone else, spinning, and my May socks. So there has been knitting progress, but there hasn't been knitting progress on the thing I wanted the knitting progress on. So, and I also signed up for Knit Along in July for a massive lace shawl. Yeah, sucker for punishment. So first off, the spinning. I have been spinning some Malabrigo fiber, because they do dye fiber. This is their merino in the Arco Iris color, which they have yarn. This is the same color that I knit my Benton cardigan out of, except that was the Rio's yarn, and this is their spinning fiber. Here it is. Oh, that's actually pretty close in color, actually. Here's the back side. A little different. That purple, this purple here, isn't quite as dark on screen as it is in real life, but it's close. It's actually pretty close. Okay. Sorry, I didn't fiddle and I think it's stuff. So this, right here, so I did take it off the flyer because I'm lazy. Slowly turning into this. There we go, now it's in focus. So, yeah, I didn't take it off the flyer because I'm lazy, because this entire assembly just pops out of my spinning wheel super easily. And this piece is actually really hard to get on and off, so like, I'm just lazy. But yeah, you can see the color difference, how this is becoming this. That yellow on the bottom here is not what I'm spinning. That's the yarn I used to get it started on the bottom, so ignore that. You can see, come along. I'm not even going to try to match colors. I'm going to 2-ply it because I have 4 ounces of it. Actually, no, I have 8 because I have 2 4-ounce braids. So I'm going to spin, or I might chain ply it actually. I'll let you know when I get to the second ply what I'm going to do, because I made up my mind yet. I still have a lot to go on this one. Because this is half of what I have left. Because I split the blade in 2 to be able to work a bit easier, and I have a bit left. So, we'll get there. Oh, and I quilted too. But I didn't knit on the shawl I was supposed to knit on for the show, whatever, right? Of course. I have everything right down here, right down there. Which, by the way, I'm sitting on the bead bag instead of sitting on the floor, so like, why not sit on a bead bag instead of sitting on the floor? Like, that's the thing, right? My lighting's actually really good today. I do have our living room light on over there to kind of even out like this wall. But it's actually, well, it was blue skies and sunny out when I started recording. I'm looking out the outer slider window that way. But now it's cloudy and windy, but there is still some sun, so I don't know. But if my lighting changes, I apologize. But it's actually pretty good. By the way, this shirt, the eyes and the mouth, they glow in the dark. Yeah. So, I finished, so now on to my May socks. I finished sock 1. Ta-da! Sock 1. You got a focus camera? Camera. Focus. Well, you don't really need to see the stitches, but there it is. So I do cast on at the toe, increase the last 32 stitches, knit until the heel, do a fish looks kiss heel, best buck I ever saw on the pattern, knit straight until when folded in half, the leg matches up with the toe increases, do 20 rows of ribbon, bind off with a stretchy bind off. For me, that makes a sock that fits in the way I like it, and I'll actually put it on and hold my foot up so you can see, because why not? I like how the fish looks kiss heel fits compared to a more traditional heel flap, simply because I have narrow heels. There we go. You can see how on the heel the yarn pulls more than on the foot, and at the toe it pulls because the repeats are only like, each color is only like a yarn long. So yeah. So I have the second sock here, which I had to take out a portion of the sock and redo it because I realized I hadn't done enough toe increases. Don't know how I managed to miss that, but I somehow didn't do enough toe increases, so I didn't have enough stitches, so I had to rip out and then do more toe increases. So here you go, here's the second sock. And as you'll notice, I don't have any huge thing of needles hanging up, right? Because my local shop got these cute little needles. Yes, that's an actual circular needle. It's 9 inches long. Here, I'll push down the sock so you can see. Okay. So see that red? That's the cable. And then that, the needle is not even as long as my finger. Look at that. I mean, it's tiny, right? These are my chow glue. There's also Addy ones that are the same way. But I normally use ones for knitting. Of course, I don't know what to do with my fingers, because I mean, look how small that is. I'm like so cramped, right? But I figured I'd give it a shot. If not, I can just go back to magic loop. I don't like it. Just go back to magic loop. But so, poking along. Hopefully I'm finished these by the end of the month. Fingers crossed. If I've gotten the heel done by next episode, I'll be able to finish. Let me stop sitting awkwardly here. This way. So next I've been doing a test knit. These two things are on straight because I'm out of the size of the needle. Well, no, it's not. I'm not out. But anyways, so this is, so one of the women at my local shop, Just Teach Music, she wanted a shawl that sat nicely on her shoulders without like pulling or anything, or bunching up at the back of her neck, so she designed something that forms a U. So this is the middle of the back, here, right here. But you do a traditional cast on, then you knit straight, and then you do these short row wedges to turn. You can see where the needle is over here. See where the needle is down here. Then I finish the turn, well I'm almost done the turn, and then I knit straight. And then it goes down into a point, and then I do the same thing on the other side, except for the collar is reversed. So, there we go. This yarn, the gray is Madeline Tosh Sock in the Composition Book Gray. The camera is not focusing on anything up close. It's staying focused out on me, but that's okay. Do I have autofocus on? I should have autofocus on. Hold on, I'm gonna fiddle for a quick sec here. No, yeah, I have autofocus on. Autofocus is on, so I don't know what's going on here. But that's Mad Tosh Sock in Composition Book Gray. And then the red is Fish Belly Fiber Works. And their yarn base is Tributary. And the color is Garnet. And it's coming out a little, it's not, there we go. That's actually good. Right there, that, yeah. It's a very bright red. As you can see, when I hold it up, it's a very bright red. So the gray dulls it down enough that it's not, like, overwhelming. And I like it. So we're good. And then I finished, you want to hold off, I'll get it later. I finished my foot floss for the month. Let me put them out here. So this was the ones I needed to have done for this past Saturday so that I could go pick them up. Go pick up my next one. So here is the main block. And then I did a whole stack of these filler blocks. They're all the same, but I did a whole stack of them. I'll just hold them up so you can see the fabrics real quick. It took me the longest time to decide what to put with what. And then I finally just started sewing them so I couldn't change my mind anymore. Because seriously, I was waffling on so many of these color combos that eventually I just had to start sewing them together so that I would just stop changing my mind. So we have to do another set of these filler blocks for this coming month. There's one more. There we go. Alright, that's all of that. I did sign up, like I said, to do a knit along. I'm calling it wrong thing. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen here. So that's, I put it in my queue, so I can just go to my queue and check it out. I'm taking stuff from over here and I'm putting it over there as I look at stuff. Crazy. So, but I have been actually doing a little bit of designing this week, which I don't do it much, but I want to do it more. And so I haven't put one in the ends yet on this little block. But this is like the sample I knit to make sure like the concept works. So I'm looking at the iPad to load stuff while I do this. This smells like the wash I use. So here's the stitch pattern. I'll give you a little preview. There it is. It's supposed to look like leaves if the camera would focus on it. There we go, see? And it's just going to be, it's going to be a stole pattern, but it's just going to be the garter borders because those lace edges can be a little finicky sometimes, and I want the pattern to be a little more accessible to people who are new to lace, might be a little intimidated. So it's just going to have the garter border like the swatch on it. So I think that's a little easier sometimes. Anyway, so the knit along I'm doing starting in July is the Yarn Fairies in My Garden Mystery Knit Along by Donna Trucanis. Hold it up. If I can get the reflection to not work. Yeah, there we go. So, there are yarn kits you can buy for it, but they're a little out of my price range. So I've gone and sourced some yarn. I'm probably going to get something from Color Mart because I need 2,200 yards for this. Like, that's a lot of yarn. So I'm probably going to get yarn from somewhere else. I had messaged someone on Ravelry, but apparently these guys weren't selling the yarn anymore. So, you know, that went through. But it's no big deal. I mean, they have kits online, and they're gradiated kits, so it's darker in the center and lighter on the out. It's a pie shell construction, so you start in the center and work your way out. But I've decided that, like, it's just, their kits are just a little too expensive, though what I have to buy is going to be, you know, just, you know what, I might buy a kit. I might break down and buy a kit, because I realized that they have different levels of kits. So on the website where you can buy the kits, right, they have kits that have yarn, beads, stitch registers, and then like all this extra stuff, and then you have yarn, beads, stitch markers, extra stuff. Then you have yarn, beads, stitch markers, and then you have yarn and beads. And if I just get the yarn and beads kit, it's actually within my price range. So I might do that. Because like it comes with stitch markers and stuff, but I have so many stitch markers that I don't really need it. But the beads would be good. Because it is a beaded shawl, so I might actually do the kit. Because, and the kit I would, see, now I'm trying to decide between two kits. The first one, the color is called Columbine, and the second one is Sunflower. I'll pull up pictures for you so you can see them. So this is the first kit that I love the colors of. And then the second kit is Sunflower. See how they're both gradiated? They're both gradiated in color, so we'll see. We'll see what I do with that. But that starts July 1st, so I have time to order the yarn for long. Decent tea. This is an Assam Black from Trader Joe's. I got one of the tea sampler things with all the samples. So I'm finally starting to try it. You want to know why I have tea? because last night Kevin and I were watching Iron Chef on Netflix, because Iron Chef's on Netflix, and they had battle tea. Yes, the secret ingredient was tea. And then the culinary curveball was coffee. Yeah. One of those things. So we made tea last night, and so I received the late this morning. But so, back to the thing I was back to this case, right? I actually have the pattern all written out. I need to change one thing in it because I realized I typed the wrong number into the pattern. I know what stitch count I need, but for somehow I typed the wrong number into the pattern. But I want to knit it for myself before I put it up for the public. So I passed on and I started. Yes, I need some straight needle for once. Easy as a courtesy of my grandmother. But if this is the stole version, so we'll see how it goes. If I don't like the size, I'll actually increase the number of repeats. I'm going to knit about 5 inches, and then I'm going to take it off, and then I'm going to put it on waist yarn. I'm going to take it off the needle, and then lock it out to see how big it actually is. And if I don't like the size, I'm going to up it. Because I don't want to knit the whole thing and then not like the size when I'm done. So, we'll see how that goes. I have that. And the yarn I'm using is some Cascade Heritage. It's not the greatest color to be knitting a shawl in, but I have it in stash and I have 800 yards of it to do a shawl, so, it's like a taupey color. And it's Heritage silk, so it should have a nice drape at least when it's all done. So, that's something. One last thing I want to mention for the podcast, because I joined this group on Facebook, and I actually said I would mention them on the podcast. I'm going to mention them. I'm going to pull them up on Facebook, though, so I don't mangle their name, because I'm not going to remember it properly. But it's a mini skein swap group I joined, because I heard about it on, whose podcast did I hear about it on? Somebody's podcast, I'm not remembering it. Ooh, that really washes me out having the iPad. Whoa. Like, whoa, color. Oh, hey, it's my cousin's birthday today. What do you know? I opened Facebook and it went, hey, it's Matt's birthday. I went, oh, right. So I will link the Facebook group in my show notes. You do have to request to join, but it's pretty much open to anyone. It is the Soft Yarn Minis scrap swapping. So if you do scrap blankets, I'm doing the beekeeper quilts, you know, those scrappy blankets that people do, be really good. So yeah, it's all good, and they do, 2 kinds of swaps. So one is where you make up mini skeins out of your scrap, send them to someone, and then that someone mixes them all up and sends them out to everyone who sent in the minis. And they're only about 5 grams. So if you have scrap, which I have a ton of fingering weight scrap, just because I knit a lot of socks, and B, I just knit a lot of stuff with fingering weight. So I have a ton of scraps. So what you can do is, and when you send them, they don't have to be all the same. They can be all different. So you just send 10 5-gram mini skeins, which is enough to make one of those triangles and to make like 2 hexacups. Because I only use 2 grams of yarn when I make a hexacup. So I can get 2 hexacups out of a 5-gram mini skein. But there's also a paid swap, where the woman who's running the group, her name is Lisa Woodruff. She's in Ohio. She's running it. She's talking to indie dyers, and she's having them dye skeins that will then be broken up into the mini skeins and then sent to people who are participating in that swap. So that's a paid swap. The swaps where you swap your yarn, all you do is pay for shipping. So you pay like $3 to send it, then you give Lisa $3 to send you back yarn. So really, it's cost of shipping. It's basically cost of putting it in the mail, which is what it would cost you to do any other swap with anyone anyway. You gotta put yarn in the mail, right? So, but she does ask for money to pay to send it back to you, which I think is completely and utterly reasonable. But the paid swap is you pay $30 and you get 10 mini skeins from an indie dyer, and some of these are going to be dyed specifically She's talking about getting custom colors and stuff, and so I think that's totally worth it as well. So I say if you're not into scrap projects, don't feel the need to join the group. It's probably not your thing. But if you're into scrap projects, like I have the beekeeper quote, and I get to make like 400 of the little hexacups. Scrap projects, woo, great, sign me up for swaps. And this one is really well done. It's through Facebook. You can join the group chat. I actually put up a big long post about my beekeeper coat because I put up a picture of it, and then somebody asked me questions, and then I'm like, instead of typing this all out in the comments and getting it lost, let me add it to my original post so that I can then, everyone can just see it when they go look at the picture. They'll be happy to go right there in front of them. So, and that's when I weighed the skein and find out that I only use about 2 yards in the yard. So that's good. That's the thing. The pattern I'm using is the Beekeeper's Quote from Tiny Owlness. I will link that in my show notes as well. That pattern is available on Ravelry. It's either $5 or $6. But you just make the little hexacups. And I'm doing the thing where I tie them together instead of seaming all the edges, because then if one of them gets damaged, because we have a cat and she doesn't claw stuff, but she gets caught every once in a while because she has claws. Really should trim them more often than we actually trim them. I can pop one out and pop it back in. One last thing. I got a new Fitbit. I'm taking it off so I can show it to you. Now, I'm not really into public Fitbit. I don't work for them. I'm not getting any money for telling you this. But I got a Fitbit Surge. It's basically like a super watch. You can see it's 8:53 a.m. What do you know? Those flashing lights over there, that's a heart rate monitor. So I will post my Fitbit profile in my show notes. And if you also have a Fitbit and you want to friend me or compete against me so we can compare steps or whatever, feel free. I'm going to post my public Fitbit profile. And if you want to add me, you can add me. And so, because I only have like 3 people on there now, so it's always be nice to see how I do against other people. And also people in different places. Because like, I work from home, so I'm actually not walking a lot because I'm only moving around the apartment. Maybe I go down to the laundry room or out to the car or something, but I'm not really going far. So, it would be interesting to see how I stack up for people who actually leave their home to work during the day. Or even have kids that are running around on it. Because me, I get on the computer, I sit there for like 3 or 4 hours working and I don't even realize it, and then next thing you know, boom. Oh hey, I've been sitting here for 4 hours. I should probably get up and move around a little bit. My left foot has gone numb over there. Right? So, but I think I'm going to call that it for today. I don't have much else to talk to you about. Oh, I did work on my giant transfer Afghan blanket. It doesn't look any different, but, maybe I can hold it up. Ooh, it's getting big. This is going to be 2 things, pair in 1 pound together. So it's going to be huge when it's done. Because I still have, this much of the first one left. Yeah, that's a lot. It's like the size of my head. I have a lot of yarn on. So, let's see. Maybe I'll quit. Depending on the size, I might keep it at 1 pair in 1 pound. Because that's over 800. That's almost 900 yards of worsted. Or is it a Ron? I forget. It's one of the 2. It's number 4 on the label, which in the U.S. is either a worsted or a Ron. It's not. But anyways, it's not going to this on the episode. I hope you all have a good week. Hopefully I have actual lace show progress for you next week. And hopefully I have also hit and turned and done the denim on the leg of my second big sock. And I am going to pull the yarn for June in my podcast. Also, I joined the sock club at my local shop. And I'm double dipping. So that means I'm going to get 2 skeins of yarn. And each quarter of the year, starting in June, which is quarter 3, we're going to get sock patterns. And I had enough yarn to do both patterns, but I might just do one. We'll see how it goes. I haven't made up my mind yet. But that would be doubling the number of socks. If I do both patterns, it would be doubling the number of socks I can knit them on. Which, because I want to knit other stuff, I might not do. So, today was lots of progress. Well, no. Today was lots of progress, but on many things. And that might be my show title. Haven't decided yet. You'll find out soon enough. Because when you watch the episode, it'll be there. Isn't it funny how that works? Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!